Good morning, students. Good morning. So today, we'll start with dipole. We did actually dipole moment last time, right? Fine. So we did some things on dipole moment last time, right? Fine. Now, students, what is dipole moment? Last time we did A. Suppose there is a molecule AB, right? Okay. So B is more electronegative. B is more electronegative. Then B will get a slight. Okay. If B is more electronegative, then B will get a slight negative sign, right? Why? Because electrons will go towards B. Fine. All the electrons will shift towards B, right? And A will get a slight plus sign. Okay. Electrons will be shared more with B actually, right? So then we have plus minus. Plus minus means this molecule is polar. Okay. And we define a term called dipole moment. Students, the symbol for dipole moment is mu. So mu is nothing but dipole moment, right? Okay. Is defined as charge into distance. So what is mu? Whatever charge is developed, right, into the distance between them, into R is the distance, right? Okay. So that's a definition of dipole. Whatever charge is developed, if more electronegative, see if it is more and more electronegative, right, you will get more and more charge. Okay. Charge will be high, right? I'll write it again for you. Okay. So it depends, students, it depends on the electronegativity difference, right? Like for example, suppose I take HF. Now if you take HF, this fluorine is highly electronegative, right? High electronegative. So fluorine will have a huge negative sign and hydrogen will have obviously a huge positive sign. Okay. So whatever charge you get, right, multiplied by the distance. Fine. Now, why do we study this dipole moment? See, if you know the dipole moment, you can say whether the molecule is polar or not. Okay. If the molecule is polar, clear, it will dissolve in polar solvents. Let me explain you. If your molecule is polar, right? Okay, it will dissolve in polar. Polar solvents means like water. Now in water also you have got plus minus. Can you see that? Water also will have minus. Hydrogen will be plus, right? Oxygen will be minus, right? So this is a polar solvent. So if this molecule is polar, it will dissolve in polar solvent, right? Okay. So it will help us to decide, whether it will dissolve in water or it will not dissolve, right? Okay. Similarly, polar molecules, the bond is very strong. There's a difference in electronegativity, charges will develop, the bond will become stronger. Clear? So this all is the use of dipole moment, right? You can predict the solubility and all that. You know the strength of the bond also. Charge into now we have done some sums. Last time we did some sums also on this. Charge is expressed once in coulombs and distance is expressed in meters. Okay. And last time we have done even some sums on percentage Hannig-Kedra also. Okay. Fine. Now, very, very important thing, this is what we'll start today. Dipole moment is a vector quantity. Please remember, very, very important. This is the most important point. Vector means it will have a direction. What will be the direction? From plus to minus. Okay? It will go from plus to minus. Getting it? It's a vector. Now, due to these vector properties, sometimes what will happen, the bond will have plus minus, no problem. But the molecule will have no dipole moment. No dipole moment for the molecule. I'll give you some example, just see. For example, suppose I've got carbon dioxide. See this very carefully now. See, this bond is polar. Why polar? Tell me. Why? Because carbon is slightly plus, correct. Same thing will happen here also. Yes or no? Carbon plus, oxygen carbon is electropositive, right? Hmm. This bond is polar, students. Okay, because you're getting plus minus. Same thing plus minus here also, right? Okay. But if you see the overall thing, you get cancelled. Why? Because plus minus, you will get one vector like this. You will get a vector like this. See, vector means what? It has got a direction. Physics you might have studied, right? The direction is there. From plus minus here also plus. So what will happen? These two vectors, if you see one is opposite, like the other one is opposite, they'll get cancelled. So these two vectors will get cancelled, right? So the net dipole moment will be zero. Okay. So this molecule mu is nothing but dipole. Shall be zero because it will get cancelled. Very important. So bond is polar. Please remember. Okay. The bonds are polar. No problem. But overall, if you see, gone zero. Why? Because these two vectors. I think you've done in physics vector direction. Two directions opposite. You'll get zero. Fine. Clear. Very very important. Let's take some more examples now. Yeah, let's take some more examples. Then you'll understand even better. Suppose I take another example, BF3. Okay, now see here. Now again, this is plus, this is minus, right? Very good. Plus minus. Now here again, direction will be from plus to minus, right? Here also plus to minus. So if we add these three vectors, okay, fine. If we add these three, first we'll add these two. This one and this one will add one. You will get a vector like this. Just see. If I add these two, the tick mark ones, right? I'll get a vector like this. Let me use a different color here. Can you see the tick mark ones? If I add, I'll get like this. Now what will happen? These two will get cancelled. This one and this one, right, will get cancelled. Correct? So the net dipole moment will be equal to 0. Fine. So the two ones will be like this, the two vectors will be like, but this and this will get cancelled. I'll say vector A and vector B, will get cancelled, right? Okay. So again, the dipole moment is here. So though this molecule, has, plus minus is there in the molecule, right? But because of this vector, everything becomes 0. Fine. So students, like that we can give many examples actually, right? Now, what type of questions you can expect in the exam? Let's see some questions, right? This question has come very famous, students, right? If you take the very famous question, this compound is called 1,2-dichlorobenzene. What is it called? 1,2-dichlorobenzene. Or it is also called ortho. These two are called ortho. So ortho, same thing, dichlorobenzene. And then they'll give you meta-dichlorobenzene, right? Meta means students 1, 3. Can you see this? 1, 3. So here it is 1, 2. Here it will be called 1, 3-dichlorobenzene, correct? Okay. Yes, 1, 3-dichlorobenzene. Okay. And you have one more now. So this is called 1, 4. Same thing, dichlorobenzene. Or is also called para. Para dichloro. Okay. Fine. Yes, one. This is called para. So 1,4 is called para. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is called para. Okay. So student in chemistry, remember one thing. Same substituents, huh? Very important is same thing. Chlorine, chlorine, right? Then in that case, 1, 2 is called ortho. Are you clear? O. O stands for ortho. Okay. 1, 3 means meta. 1, 4 means para. Now what they'll ask you in the exam? They'll ask you to arrange them in the order of dipole moments. What is the order? Okay. Now very easy. Here if you see the two chlorines, they are very close by. Can you see? This is one chlorine, right? This is the another chlorine, right? So there's a dipole moment here. There's a dipole moment here. Okay. These two chlorines are very, very close by. So this will have the highest dipole moment. Okay. Highest. This one and you have to do vector addition. This is a vector and this is a vector, right? Clear? So first will be ortho. So ortho will have the highest, right? Dipole moment. Then comes meta. And students, para will be 0. Can you guess why para is 0? We can guess this very nicely. Okay. See, why is para 0? If you see this vector and this vector, can you see this? I will show you with a different color. Can you see this? These two vectors, students, will get cancelled. The opposite chlorines will get cancelled, right? Okay. So in fact, para will have 0 actually. This will be 0. Okay. So very famous question they asked. Ortho will have the highest dipole moment followed by meta. Correct. Followed by para. Para will have 0. Okay. Just note down these questions. Next question is CH3Cl, CH2Cl2, CHCl3, CCl4. Right. Now these are the four molecules. Right. CH3Cl, CH. Okay, fine. 4. Now again, they will ask you to arrange the order of dipole moment. Okay. Remember, carbon chlorine bond is there, so there will be a dipole. Plus 2 minus, right? Now again, student, the order is as given here. Again, you do vector addition. Okay. This vector addition, I think your physics sir will teach you more when you do the chapter on vectors, right? Okay. But remember, the order for dipole moment is the same thing I have to write. Okay. This is the order of dipole moment. Clear? And in fact, students, CCl4 will have 0. CCl4 will have 0. Why? Again, the same reason. Like suppose, you drop 4 chlorines, right? Correct? So what will happen, all the vectors will get cancelled. Plus 2 minus, plus 2 minus, plus 2 minus, plus 2 minus, right? Okay. Yes. So all of them will get cancelled and you will get net 0. Very clear? Yes. So CCl4 will be 0. So this will be the order of diagonal. Now third question. Please note down these questions, they are very much asked. Next one is, they'll ask you like CH3F has more dipole moment. These are some exceptions actually. So what I'm going to do now is a little bit of exception. CH3F and CH3Cl, which will have more dipole moment. So this is very interesting. I told that fluorine is highly electronegative, right? So actually we expect that this should have more. Expected is mu, right? This should have more. Okay. But students remember, dipole moment is not just charge, it also depends on the distance between this carbon and fluorine. Okay. Now, distance wise, if you see, this is more. Okay. The carbon chlorine bond, the R value is high compared to CF bond. Please understand. So, distance wise, I think that's high. Okay. Now, the distance factor dominates the charge factor. This is charge actually, right? Clear? So, it depends upon which factor. Now, in this case, distance factor is very dominant compared to the charge. Charge wise, if you see, CF bond will be better. Okay. So as a result, the experimental value is what is observed or what is experimental, right? What is observed is CH3Cl has more dipole moment compared to, this is what is observed, students. CH3Cl has more dipole moment compared to CH3S. Fine. Because the distance factor is dominating, so that's it. So this is one exception actually, right? Please remember all this. Very, very important. Now we'll go to the next, I think that I told third one, right? Okay, students. Sorry for the disturbance, right? Sorry. So this is the third one, right? Now again another good example, NH3 versus students NF3. If you see NH3 versus NF3, okay. NH3. You should know the vectors, like better, physics I will tell you. This is NH3, right? There is a lone pair. There is a lone pair here, right? The same thing I'll draw for NF3. Okay. Same thing, lone pair, right? Lone pair is there here also. Okay. Now the question is, correct, which will have more dipole moment? Now again, it looks like Na3 should have more. Why? Why? Because fluorine is highly electronegative. We all know fluorine is the most electronegative, right? So actually we expect that this should have more. Okay? But the answer is this has got more. So the answer for dipole moment is NH3 has more than NF3. Now why? Let's see the reason for this. Now here students you have to use a vector logic. Just see now. What is the direction of dipole moment from plus to minus? So this is plus to minus. So see now, plus to minus, plus to minus, plus to minus, right? Okay. And here what will be the direction? Here again it will be plus to minus. Fine, plus to minus. So if you see all the vectors, you just see plus, all the vectors, also plus to minus, they are getting added up. They are all going the same direction. Can you see? All the vectors are going this. So you will get a resultant big dipole moment here. I'll show you the different color. So you'll get a very big, like a dipole moment here in this direction. Right? Everybody is getting added up. Can you see? Okay. But let us see for NF3 now. Now in case of NF3, what happens is they don't get added up. Just see now. Plus to minus. Now this is, now please remember here minus is fluorine. So plus to minus, plus to minus, plus to minus, right? Okay. And here again plus to minus. Are you clear? Now students, if you see very carefully, these three vectors are getting added up. When I'm saying these three means this, I'm telling this, this and this. They are getting added up. Can you see that? But this is going in the upward direction. I'm talking of this one. Okay. So there will be some cancellation. Some cancellation. These three down, but these. So some cancellation will occur, right? Of dipole moment. Some cancellation of mu. Okay, something will get cancelled. So as a result, this will have less dipole moment. Okay, NF3 will have less. Very clear? Let me tell you again now. NH3, all the vectors are in one direction. Can you see? Can you see the red color? Everything is in one direction. Everything is pointing out in one direction, right? But here, you will get some cancellation. Fine. So therefore, NF3, okay, will have less. Something will be less, compared to NH3. Note down this point. Very, very important. Very, very important. Okay. Please note it down. Okay, students. So this is how NF3 will have less compared to NH3, right? Okay. So these are the three exceptions. What you see for dipole moment, right? So let me repeat now. So if you see ortho, this ortho benzene, right? Ortho will have the highest followed by meta, right? Meta greater than para. Okay, remember this first one. Second one is CH3Cl, CH2Cl2, correct? CHCl3, CCl4. What is the order of dipole moment? Okay. The third point is CH3F. If you see in comparison to CH3Cl, yes, CH3Cl will have more. Okay, compared to CH3F, right? And fourth one is just now I told like yes, NH3 will have greater than NF3. These are the common things which they ask in the exam, right? Okay, so that's all about dipole moment, right? So let me tell you at the beginning I told you dipole moment uses it will tell you a molecule is polar or not. Polar means it will dissolve in water. Okay, fine. And dipole moment, last time we discussed, it is also used to find the percentage ionic character. Okay, that's another use of dipole moment. Okay, fine. Okay, so we'll go to the next topic now. The next topic is Fajan's rules. Okay, you please revise every day so that you are in touch, right? Now, what does this Fajan's rules tell you? Now, suppose I take a bond AB. I have a bond AB, right? Now, this bond AB is not 100% ionic nor 100% covalent. Okay, see, any bond in the world, right, is not perfect. When I say not perfect, means it is not perfectly ionic, right? Not perfectly covalent. Okay, so every bond will have a mixture of the two, ionic and covalent. Fine. In fact, if we see NaCl, right, we will say that you will say that sir, this is almost ionic. Yes, almost ionic, right? I agree with you, but not 100% ionic. Okay, not 100%, right? It will have some amount of 1 minute. Just give me 1 minute. Okay. Okay, so we'll continue. So if you take NaCl, listen here, NaCl, you all will say, sorry for the disturbance, right? You all will say it is 100% ionic, right? But even this will have some sharing. This will also have some covalent behavior. Okay? It's not perfectly ionic. Clear? That's what we'll study in this Fajan's rule. So Fajan's rule will tell you that how much is this bond covalent? It looks like almost 100% ionic, right? No, it is not ionic, perfectly ionic, right? There will be some sharing, there will be some covalency will be there. Okay, some covalent behavior. Fine. And that is what this Fajan's rule will tell us. Okay. So Fajan's rule tells us the amount of covalent behavior. How much covalent behavior is there in an ionic bond? Okay. Some ionic bonds will be more covalent, some will be less covalent. We'll see all this in Pajan. We'll see now. Okay. Now, so let's take the next slide now. So what are the rules? Okay. Okay, fine. We'll write on the rules here. The first rule is smaller the cation. Okay. If the cation is very small, more is the covalent behavior. More covalent behavior. Okay. Smaller the cation, more covalent behavior. Now, for example, remember this rule is telling you how much covalent behavior is there in an ionic bond. So I take an ionic substance LiCl. I take another ionic substance like NaCl, right? Okay, I take these two now. Fine. Now among these two, if you see, lithium is smaller compared to sodium. You know, lithium is very small, right? So lithium chloride will have more covalent behavior. So you're getting it. So smaller the cation, more covalent behavior. I'm not changing the anion. Please see, that's very important. So you should not change everything. You know, keep the anion fixed and change the cation. So Li plus, Na plus, right? So Li plus will have more covalent behavior because it's smaller. Okay. Now why? Let's see the reason why. Reason is if the ion is small, see this is the cation, right? This is the anion, right? Okay. Fine. See now, this is the cation, this is the anion, right? Now if the cation is very small, it will pull the electrons of the anion towards itself. You see, these are the electrons of the anion, right? It will pull it. It will attract the electrons of the anion. Okay. This is called polarizing power of the cation. So what is polarizing power of the cation, right? Okay. The polarizing power of cation is nothing but how much the cation, right, can pull the electrons of the anion towards itself. Fine? It will pull, it will attract the electrons of the anion. Because you know plus minus will attract, right? Okay. This is a nucleus. You know, in center, you know, you have got a nucleus, right? Okay. This is anion, right? This is anion. Fine. This is called polarizing power of the cation. So smaller the cation is very small, right? Okay. It will pull it more effectively. So now the electron, you know, if it is pulling it effectively, now the electron will be between the cation and the anion. Fine. Now we will get covalent behavior. You see, the electron no longer will belong to the anion alone. Cation will also pull it. Fine. So you will get some sharing. Fine. Cation is pulling it. Some sharing. Some sharing means some covalent behavior. Okay. So it's getting it. This all will be very effective if the cation is very, very small actually, right? Okay. So smaller cations, more covalent behavior. So LiCl, you know, will have more covalent behavior, right? Fine. So if you take a comparison, you know, like LiCl, NaCl, KCl, among these three, if you take, I think LiCl will be the most covalent. Okay, now covalent means what? You know, like LiCl is more covalent. So what? It will dissolve in organic solvents. If you see LiCl, you know, will dissolve, organically dissolve. Okay. These people will not dissolve. NaCl, KCl, right? Yes. Fine. So more covalent behavior, more solubility in organic solvents. Okay. This is very important. So just note down this point, right? Smaller the cation, more covalent. Hmm? Fine. Fine, student. Now, next thing is the charge of the cation. See, I'll give some example. NaCl, MgCl2. Now, here if you see again, I'm keeping the anion fixed. You see, anion is fixed, Cl, right? Anion is fixed. But the charge is, cation, charges I'm changing, you see. Na is plus 1, Mg is plus 2. Okay, Mg is plus 2. Now, Mg plus 2 will have more polarizing power. Mg plus 2, if you see, more polarizing power compared to Na plus. Are you clear? Mg2 plus will polarize it more effectively. Okay. Yes, compared to Na plus. So students, MgCl2 will be more covalent compared to NaCl. Are you clear? This is the right. So greater the charge of the cation, greater covalent behavior. Fine. Covalent means it will dissolve in organic solvents. Remember, very important. Fine. Then third, charge of the anion. Let's come to anion now. Let's switch our attention to anion. Now, when I'm discussing charge of anion, I'll keep the cation fixed. Let's take NaCl and let us take Na2O. See, now the cation is fixed here, but chlorine is having -1, oxygen is having -2. Now, here, students, higher the charge of the anion, okay, it will be more easily polarized. 1 minute, student, 1 minute, 1 minute. Let's come to this now. So, if the anion is more charged, okay, it will be more easily polarized. The cation can polarize it faster. Fine. So here, the oxide ion, I'll write here, the oxide ion, right, can be more easily polarized. Are you clear? Okay. And the extent to which the anion can be polarized, that is called polarizability. So what is it called? Polarizability. So who has more polarizability? Oxide ion. Okay. Oxide ion has got, so this will be more covalent. So therefore, you will see that Na2O is more covalent compared to NaCl. Are you clear? So that's a logic stone, right? So more the charge of the anion, right? More polarized. Okay, so Na2O will be more polarized. Oxide ion will be more polarized. This will have more covalent behavior, sodium oxide, right, compared to NaCl. Okay. So just note down this point, right? Very, very important. And the extent to which the anion can be polarized is called polarizability. Okay. So oxide ion will have more polarizability, right? Fine. Students, one last thing now. The size of the anion. Okay. Let's come to size of the anion, right? Now, if the anion is big, like for example iodide, right? If the anion is big, right? Cation should be obviously small. If the anion is very big, it can be more easily disturbed. It can be more easily polarized. Okay. So bigger the anion, right? More is its polarizability, more polarizability. So you will expect more covalent behavior. Okay. So NAI will be highly covalent. Fine. Let me tell you again, bigger the anion, right? The anion is very big. It can be more easily disturbed, more polarizable, more polarizability. Okay. So it will become more covalent. Fine. So if suppose in exam they ask you a question NaCl, NaBr, NaI. Suppose they ask you which is more covalent, NaI will be the more covalent because the iodine is very big. Okay. That's the logic. Students getting it? Okay. So let me summarize the whole thing now. So let us do one thing. Let's summarize the whole Pajan's rule now. So what does Pajan's rule tell you? The percentage of, or we can say, okay, the extent of covalent behavior in an ionic bond. Okay. Yes. How much covalent, right? In ionic bond. If for example NaCl, right? NaCl is ionic, right? So how much covalency you will get here? Fine. So it is influenced by four factors. What are the four factors? Smaller the cation size, small, more covalent behavior. Clear? Covalent behavior will be high. Smaller the cation, right? B. Higher the charge of the cation charge is very high, right? Again, more covalent behavior. Fine. C. Anion charge also high. Again, you get more covalent behavior, right? Higher the cation charge, higher the anion charge. And the last one, as far as anion size is concerned, anion size should be high, student. Then it can be easily polarized. Okay. So these are the four factors, which determine the covalent behavior. You'll see, except the cation size, everything should be on a higher side. Can you see that? You'll get more and more covalent behavior. Fine. And if the molecule is covalent, again I repeat, it will dissolve in organic solvents. Okay. So in chemistry, there's a proverb actually: like dissolves like. Like dissolves like means if your molecule is covalent, it will dissolve in covalent solvents. And organic chemistry, everything is covalent. Correct? Na? In 10th standard itself we have done, right? Organic chemistry is full covalent, right? Fine. So therefore, covalent molecules will dissolve more in organic solvents. Fine. Okay, Sven, I hope you understood this, right? So these are the Pajan's rule, right? It will tell you the extent of covalent behavior, right? Okay then. Okay then, we'll stop for today. Just revise all these concepts, right? Okay then. Okay then, Sven, bye. Enjoy.